Prepare for Dave!
Good morning, YTPC. Salty Smoker here, coming at you with another review. But let's get into a couple of things first. Hey, we hit 100 subscribers. I think we're at 106 right now. That is awesome. Thank you guys for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. The pipe community here is really awesome. Really supportive of everybody. You know, with a few outliers here and there, but overall the YouTube pipe community is fantastic support. And you know, I want to thank you guys again for subscribing, liking the videos. I enjoy doing them. It's almost like a video journal for me, on looking at what type of tobaccos I really like, now that I'm diving even more into them. You know, into broadening my horizons for more blends. So, yeah, my pup's out here with me today. He's a good boy. But we're sitting out here. It's nice. It's a nice morning. This is gonna be my second pipe of the day. I did smoke my normal Bayou morning flake with my coffee this morning. Did a little fishing. Snagged a couple of smallies and a bluegill, but nothing too much out here this morning, but that's all right. You know, it's nice to be able to just come out here and go fishing whenever I want, and I do enjoy that. My dock does need a little bit of work, but it's a project for another day. We got tons and tons of projects going on around the house. But so again, thank you guys. We hit 100 subscribers. Fantastic. Now we are going to review today, this morning, and I usually don't smoke these types of tobaccos in the morning, but you know, I felt like, why not? So we're gonna smoke Cornell and Diehl's Autumn Evening. Now this is an aromatic tobacco. It is a red Cavendish cased with natural maple. Best-selling aromatic blend from Cornell and Diehl. So yeah, let's give it a shot. And well, you know what, I'm not gonna lie, I've been smoking on this tin for like a week. I actually tried to record this video last weekend out here on the dock, and it was just too windy. I tried to go back and edit it, and it was just way too windy. So I said, screw it, I will do it next week. And I just didn't put out a video last week, but that's all right. So again, yep, Cornell and Diehl's Autumn Evening. When you crack this, you smell it. I mean, know what you get? Pancakes. Ton of pancakes. That's what it smells like to me. So, but let's fire up this bowl. Smoking it out of a Missouri Meerschaum Country Gentleman, and a Vermont Freehand stem and ferrule. I just like making them look a little bit nicer. Nothing wrong with the original stems, but I do like making them look a little bit nicer. We have a nice little breeze today, which is nice. It's not overbearingly hot, and it's a little after 10 a.m. I think now. So I like this blend a lot, as far as an aromatic goes, because it's not too aromatic. You know, it's not goopy at all. It's not overly hydrated. It's none of that stuff. It's just a good blend. Like I said, it tastes like pancakes, or at least reminds me of like I'm smoking a stack of flapjacks. I will say that there's not much difference from the beginning of the bowl to the end of the bowl like you'll get with your Burley blends or even some of your Englishes and red and Virginia blends and things like that that have nuance that as you smoke they change. I find with most aromatics, with a couple of exceptions, that they're relatively same all the way through, which is to be expected. It is an aromatic. Yeah. So new things. Let's see. Well, I think last time I was on, I let you guys know that my sister graduated her basic. She's at her AIT now. One of my brothers, he just left for his first deployment. So, BZ, Bravo Zulu. Told him to have fun with it. He's in the Navy, but he's not a ship-going sailor, if you will, because he is a CB. But he's. I told him, it's your deployment. Have fun with it. It's gonna be fun. But it is gonna be different than the kind of deployments that I went on. He's not gonna have the same type of sea stories that I have. So, yep. But yeah. So that's basically all that's really been going on in my world. Been doing, a few more handyman jobs around town. Now that corporate jobs slowed down a little bit, I can focus on my side hustle again and keep running that. And yeah, I did have to shell out quite a bit of money though this past weekend. Oh, that's terrible. One of our rentals, it's a 1-1 mobile, and we rented out to an elderly woman, and well, she clogged the toilet, or so I thought. She ended up actually clogging the main drain for the whole thing, and I don't even own an auger that thick, or that long rather, to clear that. So I called out one company. They came out. They were starting to auger it. Guy said, "Oh, got water to go down." I was like, "Sweet." And then I looked down into the hole because I had already removed the toilet. And I said, "Dude, I see daylight." He had separated the main drain while trying to push that clog through. I was like, that's fun. So that was a nice, costly $4,000 repair, give or take. But c'est la vie, right? Life of a landlord. But that's all right, Just kind of out here enjoying the day today. Smoking another pipe. Think we're gonna cook some dinner later on and then take it over to her mom's house for a nice little Sunday dinner. But yeah. Hear my dog in the background. He's yapping at the neighbors down the way, and then you got the dog across the way. He's also yapping. So they're getting their conversation in. This is a really cool smoking blend, but you do have to smoke it slower than, I feel like I smoke this one slower than I smoke some other aromatics or some other really goopy-ish type blends, more moist blends. This one's actually pretty, it's fairly dry. As far as aromatics go, but it's really tasty. I enjoy it a lot. I smoked this one, I don't know, probably out of this 10 now, I've had probably 6 or 7 bowls. So, yesterday though, I was having a conversation. Hope this breeze doesn't get too bad. But I was having a conversation with my pops. He's a big cigar guy, and I mean, I am too, I haven't done a review yet. Yes, I know, I need to do some cigar reviews. But we were talking about, pipes versus cigars, and I'll send him his favorite cigars every couple of months, 10 or so, 20 of them, just to help get him through, because he lives in a cigar desert, unfortunately, and I live here in the cigar city of Tampa, Florida. Well, I live outside of it, but I'm not moving back to the city for no one. But we were talking, And you know, he asked me. He said, well, he didn't ask me. He said, I'm thinking about getting into pipes. And I said, okay, why is that? You know, just curious. You know, just is it my videos or something? Did me and one of my other brothers, who's also a pipe smoker, rub off on you? He said, it's a kind of. But he said he feels pressured when he's smoking a cigar to imbibe in alcohol. And I said, I get that. You know, I view cigars as more of a social thing. You know, I smoking a cigar by myself is kind of boring, but smoking a cigar with friends and you know, other people, that is fun. I do enjoy that. But I did tell him, as far as smoking a cigar and needing alcohol, I've kind of gotten away from that. You know, I will partake in, you know, a bourbon or whiskey every now and then, or even a brandy, or dark rum with a cigar every now and then, but it's rare. Honestly, I find myself going more towards coffees. Honestly, a sweet tea kind of helps, because, you know, like, you'll be smoking a dense stick sometimes and you'll feel that nauseous, and they're always like, oh, have some sugar with it. So I'll have that sweet tea on hand, and that really does help out a lot. Or a root beer, another one. It's got the sweetness, but it's also got those spices and things, you know, and those other flavors that kind of help complement a cigar. And I told him, I was like, get a good root beer too, you know. He does smoke a lot of the Java sticks. That is his favorite, especially like the Maduro. He loves that mint. But so he started asking me, though, you know, about pipe smoking. He was like, I'm thinking about getting into it. And I said, yeah, you should. I was like, it's cheaper in the long run, you know. Buy a tin of tobacco for, you know, anywhere between 10 to 15 bucks, depending on where you're buying from, and what you're buying. And I was like, a pipe, you know, you can spend anywhere between 10 bucks for a corn cob, or, you know, all the way up to a couple thousand for a really nice artisan design pipe. So I told him, but those, you know, I mean, you're still going to get a lot of smokes out of a corn, or out of any kind of pipe. And you're going to get a lot more bowls out of that tin of tobacco. And you can sit here and just enjoy the pipe and relax a little bit more. And so he did ask me, he said, well, hey, do you mind making some beginner videos? You know, and I said, yeah, sure. You know, I mean, I know that YouTube and the interwebs, they are abundant with beginner videos. But I said, you know what, Salty Pops, that's what I'm going to refer to him from now on, as Salty Pops. He was a sailor too. We actually did similar jobs. He was just conventional and I was nuclear. But I said, you know what, I'll do that for you, Pops. So be on the lookout for a new series from me for beginning pipe smoking, you know, where I'll go over how to pack, how to light, you know, different types of pipes, my recommendations on what to start out with as far as blends go. Which, and for you veteran pipe smokers, you know, if you can, you know, drop a line in the comments, you know, on some things that I should probably touch on. You know, you guys have been doing this a lot longer than me, as far as, you know, being on the YouTube and on the internet. So, you know, some things that I should touch on, and as you guys are seeing the videos roll out, feel free to comment and be like, hey man, you know, check this out too, you know, this is how I do it, you know, and I'll shout you guys out, you know, because it's a wealth of knowledge, and the community is just fantastic for helping out new smokers and helping out old smokers. Shit, just being courteous and, you know, having a good time with pipes, you know. I do plan on starting to get a little bit more into, you know, I'm going to keep doing the reviews. That's not going to stop. But I am going to start branching out into a little bit more information to help people, you know. And it also helps me because I'm going to have to look up some of this stuff. And it's going to open my eyes to some things. And if you guys, again, you know, have any tips or things that you believe that I should probably mention in these videos, then by all means, drop a line. I greatly appreciate it, you know. And it's nice seeing more people come to pipes, you know. Had a buddy at work who saw me smoking a pipe, and you know, he went and bought his first pipe. My brother was talking about pipes, and you know, I can't remember when I did it. I can't remember if it was Christmas or his birthday or whatever, but I was like, oh, here you go, man. Shot him a corn cob and sent him a few tins out of the cellar. I said, go ahead and give these a try, you know, a couple aromatics, a couple English blends, you know, and he's enjoying it a lot too. I just keep telling him to slow down because you can see the burn marks coming through on one of his pipes. And I said, just slow down, dude, enjoy it. He's like, I like having the big smoke. And I was like, I get that. But it's not necessary, you know. Sit down, slow down, relax. And he's like, oh, I gotta smoke it fast. I got 2 kids, and he does. They're young, kindergarten and toddler. But you know, they keep him on his toes. But I get that, you know. But I said, well, when you can, just kind of slow down and enjoy it. And Salty Pops, he's in the same boat, you know. He just wants to slow down, not smoke the cigar as much, you know, have that more of a social setting, and I get that. So be on the lookout for the new how-to tutorial videos. So back to the bowl though. This is a consistent blend. Again, because it is aromatic. I'm not expecting anything other than consistency when it comes to an aromatic. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it says autumn evening, but my goodness, is it a good morning smoke. You know, after you got your nicotine levels up because you smoked your burley blend or your vapor or whatever you smoke in the mornings that ain't an aromatic. This is just a nice one to, you know, enjoy. Well, y'all, I'm going to wrap up this video. Again, thanks everybody in the community. We're up to 100 plus subscribers. Greatly appreciate it. And be on the lookout for the new videos. Thanks for watching this one. Again, I highly recommend this Autumn Evening from Cornell and Diehl. It's a delicious flapjack in a smokestack. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful Sunday.